Hello, security pros. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us on today's ESX webinar, Cloud-Based Access Control and Aluminum Storefronts Solved. Salto has a variety of electronic smart locks designed for every door type, including aluminum storefronts. Today, we'll explore those options with experts from the Salto team. We'll review their cloud-based access control platform, demonstrating how you can provide real-time access control without any on-premise software or servers. Salto installations are fast, getting buildings up and running in minutes or hours rather than days or weeks, and we'll see why in just a moment. I'm Jillian Bateman, ESA's Chief Development Officer, and I'm excited to lead this ESX webinar with you today. Before we dive in, I'd like to provide some tips for those of you joining us on your first ESX webinar. Welcome. You'll be muted for the duration of the session, but that doesn't mean we don't want to hear from you. If a question or comment pops up, click the Q&A icon or chat icon at the bottom of your control panel, and we'll pose those questions to our expert today. We'll also be recording today's webinar, so you can rewatch the on-demand session and share it with your colleagues. Tomorrow, you'll receive an email thanking you for your attendance today with a link to the recording. Make sure you mark your calendars for ESX 2022. We'll hold this in-person event designed by and for the Pro-installed Electronic Security and Life Safety Channel, June 14th through the 17th in Fort Worth, Texas. We at ESA realize your time is valuable, and we appreciate you spending some of that time with us on this ESX webinar today. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker. Preston is a vertical business leader for Salto Systems. Preston, let's dive in.
Jillian, thank you so much for the introduction, guys. I'm super happy to be here, and let's make the most of our time together. We all have busy days. We all have busy schedules. There's a million other things you could be doing, but you're choosing to spend some time with us. And I'm telling you, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. So with that, let's get going. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and it will get exciting. So I have a few slides. We're going to work through some exciting stuff, but I also want everyone to know this is not just a slide deck. This is not just a one-way conversation. If you have questions, please type them in the Q&A. I'll try to get to as many as possible, right? And while I'm going through the slide deck, it's going to keep me on track. This is not a virtual background. It's a real background. I'll be touching locks. I'll be showing you stuff, and I'll dive into a little bit of the software. So with that, let's get going, guys. Cloud-based access control and aluminum storefront solved. The very first thing I want to chat about is not all of you have heard of Salto, okay? And I get it. That's all right. But I want you to know a little bit about our company, right? We're founded in the Basque country of Spain. It's in the northeast corner of Spain. This is the town that we're just outside of San Sebastian. You want to go there. It's awesome, okay? But what a little bit more about Salto? Well, we're founded in 2001, so we're a 20-year-old startup. We have offices all around the world, including 3 here in the United States, Las Vegas, Atlanta, and New York City. We have over 1,000 employees. We make millions of smart locks a year. That is what we do. We manufacture our products in Europe. We really care where, how, and the process that all of our products are made. We're privately held. We do things the way we want to. Our factory is carbon neutral. We responsibly source material. And the long story short is we are the market commander for electronic smart locks, right? And it's not just an electronic smart lock, it's an electronic smart lock system. And that word system is super important. And it's gonna be a lot of the focus of today's presentation. So why do customers, whether security pros like you or your customers, why do they choose Salto? Well, our platform, Salto KS, Keys as a Service, yes, Salto KS, has a whole bunch of benefits. Helps customers replace mechanical keys. That's our arch nemesis. We want to get rid of those pesky mechanical keys wherever they might be, especially in aluminum storefronts, right? Our software is cloud-based. There's no servers to install. There's no software to update. It's all done automatically. It's all managed from anywhere in the world through the web. And our customers, well, they can control their door and their system the way they want to, with their computer or with their phone. Yes, all of us want to use our smartphone to do more stuff. We always have it on us. Let's take advantage of the tools that we have. Salto KS as a platform is also really open. Has an API. We love that. And we love to integrate. So what do integrations mean? Well, integrations mean platforms and products that are best in class can integrate with Salto KS's software to take full advantage of our hardware. Right? There's a ton of integrations. Some come from companies like Nexus, Office R&D, Butterfly Max, Lively, Rise, Operto. Okay. You can find a full list on saltoks.com/integrations. But we also have some really cool integrations with companies like Comwet that allow you to bring the functionality of a video intercom into our app, or Eagle Eye Networks that makes a beautiful cloud-based video management system that is fully integrated with Salto KS cloud-based access control. But what are we here for today? We're here for smart locks, right? We're going to talk about our system, Salto KS, but let's talk locks. Let's talk the stuff, right? Well, at our core, Salto makes really, really good software platforms like Salto KS to enable you, our channel, to provide electronic locks, right? Those electronic locks are battery operated and they're designed for any door, anywhere in the property. This is the biggest takeaway. I'm going to say it more than one time during the presentation. Any door, anywhere can accept a Salto lock, whether that's interior, exterior, mortise, cylindrical, exit devices, emergency exits, elevators, wherever you go throughout a building, you have control, especially storefronts, the focus of what we're going to talk about, because in the world of traditional wired access control, storefronts are expensive. Think of all the times we've seen a storefront, literally every Starbucks you've ever walked into, right? Every retail application, most small businesses have storefront doors. And what do most businesses do, especially retail companies? How do they manage access? They give out mechanical keys. They give out the bad guy, right? Mechanical keys can be lost. They can be copied. They're expensive to replace because a locksmith has to replace the cylinder, right? So one of the best things that we can do for our customers is help eliminate the oldest and dumbest technology they use on site, the mechanical key. And that really starts with a storefront. So how do we eliminate the mechanical key and use smart locks on storefronts? Well, we have a variety of solutions. We actually have 3 different ways, and I'll go over each one in detail with you about how we can provide cloud-based access control at those storefronts. Up 1, the Salto XS41DL. Our XS41DL is specifically designed for deadlatch doors, right? Not a locksmith. Are you not familiar with a deadlatch? Well, I promise you, you've all used one. The vast majority of retail applications have a deadlatch. And one way that you'll notice that the deadlatch is on the inside, there's a paddle. Whenever you see that little paddle, know that that's a deadlatch. So specifically, our product, the XS41, it's small, it's narrow, it's beautiful. It goes on exterior doors. And guess what? The XS41 is compatible with existing deadlatches. There are some huge players in the game like Adams, right? They have millions of deadlatches out there, and we're compatible with all of them, all right? When you come up to your customer site and you want to install our XS41DL, it installs very, very quickly, right? It's a fast and simple installation. It is normal to walk up to a door, take off their existing cylinder, install our XS41DL, and commission it within 15 minutes, right? That's not a, oh my gosh, you have to be a lifelong expert of Salto. This is what most of our installers are doing. They're installing the XS41DL in real world environments in that 15 to maybe 30 minutes. And when you order our XS41DL for aluminum storefronts, it also comes with this latch guard. The latch guard adds an extra layer of physical security for the door, right? The lock's available in lots of options. Everything you're seeing is right now, whether it's on the screen or behind me, is our standard satin finish, but we also have a black option to match those black frames. And what about battery life? All right, a lot of us have gotten used to, oh, I've used other access control products that use batteries in the past, and the battery life is, oh, it's horrible. I get it. We've all seen the same stuff. Well, battery life is one of our core competencies. Our XS41DL has an exceptional battery life. How long does it last? Well, the XS41DL isn't measured in time, it's measured in usage, right? When I badge into the product, that's one use. and its battery life is between 40 and 60,000 uses. If I badge into the door 40 times a day, that's 1,000 days. We're talking years of battery life on 3 AA or 3 AAA batteries. And the XS41DL comes in a few different models because not all doors are the same. Not all the functions are the same. So we have a model, we call it the standard model, where on the inside of the door, there's a handle. So maybe our customers on their storefront doors, they still want a handle on the inside. Guess what? We can do that, no problem. But maybe that customer wants a paddle for faster egress. Well, in this actual setup, I have my XS41 on the outside of the door. I have a battery pack from Salto on the inside. But this latch and the paddle, these are existing products. Salto doesn't sell the paddle or the latch. We interface and are compatible with what's already on site to make your installs even faster. So the Salto XS41DL, sweet option for Deadlatch storefront doors. But we all know not every storefront has a Deadlatch. Some storefronts have something called a Deadlock, right? A Deadlock is, here's my representation. Here, think of this as the glass and this is the aluminum storefront. On the inside of a Deadlock, there's a thumb turn. And when I twist that thumb turn, it's either going to throw or retract this little hook. It acts like a deadbolt. This is also something really, really common at retail applications. Well, we can solve these types of doors by removing the key cylinder. What's in there today? A mortise cylinder. What do we have? Well, Salto has a mortise electronic cylinder. Replace the keyway, put in our Neo mortise cylinder. And how does it work? Well, if I have a key card and I walk up to my cylinder, well, right now the door is locked. I can't get in. If I spin the cylinder, it will spin forever in either direction. But if I have a valid credential and I tap the lock, it flashes green. And now when I twist it, it's engaged and I've retracted that deadlock. Oh, it's time for me to lock the store up. Well, I could throw the thumb turn from the inside, just as if it had a mechanical key. Or if I want to lock the door from the outside, I just take my key card, tap the cylinder, and now I twist the cylinder in the right direction, and the door is locked. So we talked about battery life on our XS41DL, right? 40,000 transactions. What's it look like on our smart cylinder, the Neo? It's 130,000 transactions. We're talking 5, 6 years, 7 years of battery life, guys, because this is our efficiency. We build smart locks, we build them to last, and our battery life is second to none. But I also get it. Maybe you're, it's not just a dead latch at your storefront door. Maybe it's not just a deadlock. Yes, you can also do a wired reader controlling a strike or an electrified device. Yes, SALTO KS, our platform, supports our reader and control unit. We can manage that door even if you have a strike or electrified hardware, okay? We can solve that aluminum storefront any way you want to do it. Smart locks with a dead latch, smart cylinders with a deadlock, or electrified strikes with our XS design reader, which is available in a variety of form factors and colors. So storefronts, we have solutions, but I haven't really told you yet how our platform, SALTO KS, works. So how do we make those locks work for our customers? Not just how easy are they to install in the door or what types of door do they fit? Well, SALTO KS is really simple. Our platform is simple, right? Essentially, there are 4 pillars of technology within SALTO KS. There are credentials, right? There are smart locks that are battery operated. There are IQ gateways that act like a hub. And there are cloud and mobile apps, right, that are connected and manage your devices. So how does it work? Well, I'll walk through each of these 4 different ways to open a door, but I'm going to start with a key tag, right? A key tag. A user has their key tag. They walk up to an electronic lock. They tap the reader on the electronic lock. The lock wirelessly communicates to our IQ gateway. Now, the IQ gateway has on its onboard memory everything it needs to know to open the door or not. So when I badge into that lock, the lock talks wirelessly to the IQ, and the IQ wirelessly tells that lock what to do: open or remain locked. Simultaneously, that IQ gateway connects to the cloud service and reports the event. Sounds slow? It's not. A user walks up to a door, regardless of what type it is, they tap the lock, and within just a moment, that whole process is complete, and the user has access or they don't. So how do we open the door besides just a key tag? Well, we have a PIN code. Yes, we have locks that can have a keypad, and users can be assigned a PIN code. That's great. But more and more often, we're seeing users, well, they want to use their phone to open doors, and I don't blame them. I want to use my phone to open doors. So how do we use our phone to open doors? Well, we do that through the KS mobile app, okay? And within the KS mobile app, every single user that has access to the KS mobile app has access to the digital key, okay? The digital key, it'll be hard to see on your screen, but it's a little blue button. And if I wanted to open up one of my doors, I tap my digital key, I tap the lock I want to open, and if I have access, I get into that door. How's it really working? Well, when I tap digital key, my phone is broadcasting my credential via Bluetooth. And when I tap my phone on a lock, that lock wakes up, accepts my credential, and if I have access, I can now open or lock the door. What it means is if your staff or your customers are using digital key, they have to physically be in front of the door to open it. This is great for hourly employees. You know, if the cashier sleeps in, we probably don't want him remotely opening the back door when he was supposed to have been there, but he's actually in bed. So with digital key, you have to be in front of the door. But also some users, administrators or trusted staff, anyone that has access, who's been given permission, can actually remotely open doors. So within my app, I know it'll be impossible to see, but I have a list of all the doors. And maybe I want to remotely open my storefront door here. I have my list. I look for that door, storefront. I click on the door. I click open remotely. The command goes from my phone to the cloud to the IQ. And within just a few moments, my IQ activated and I got in the door. All right. What if I wanted to get into my bike room here? We'll see it a little better. I choose the bike room. I click open remotely. Command goes from my phone to the cloud to the IQ, and I've remotely opened that door from anywhere in the world. Within that KS mobile app, administrators can also do some real quick user maintenance. They can see where their users have been, they can make changes, they can view audits, they can block users. Administrators have control in their hands wherever they go. So how do we put together a Salto KS system? Well, we start with the subscription. There's no servers to install on site. There's no software to buy. Instead, all of it's hosted. So Salto offers 5 separate subscription processes. And there's 2 factors to remember: how many users are going to be on your system and how many IQs. Right? So if we have a small business and they have 20 employees, our medium subscription is probably going to be great. The medium subscription supports up to 50 users. Every one of those users could use their phone to open doors. And our medium subscription supports 15 of our IQ gateways. But yes, I can see the chat, guys. No, I'm not telling you how many doors each subscription manages, right? The medium subscription, 50 users, 15 IQs. Well, how many doors does that translate to? Well, guess what? Our IQ, our gateway, can wirelessly connect with up to 16 locks within its 25-foot range. This means that even a medium subscription can support hundreds of doors, okay? And our IQ has onboard memory, it connects to your building's power, and it can connect to your network a variety of ways. Ethernet plus a power supply, great. My preferred option is PoE, power over Ethernet, everything through one cord. We have a Wi-Fi option, and we even have a cellular option. So maybe your retail storefront doesn't even have a network connection. No problem, guys. We could use one of our IQs. Comes with a cell stick if you order the GSM model. There's no separate subscriptions for that cellular service. It's all baked into your KS subscription in your IQ. So your installation might be as simple as install an IQ within 25 feet of your Neo cylinder for your storefront door. And that's your entire on-site hardware. Your system is installed, commission it up and running within an hour, and we're able to throw away that mechanical key. So one more time, what's that architecture look like? The cloud service through the internet is connected to the building's network. On the network are IQ gateways, and IQ gateways are wirelessly connected with up to 16 locks. But it does get better. Our IQs don't need to be on the same network. The IQs can even be on different networks. So maybe your customer doesn't have one retail store. Maybe they have 75 or 100. Great. We can have one subscription managed centrally and put IQs at all of their different offices, all their different retail storefronts, so that through one software platform, an owner is managing their stores in Florida and Tennessee and New York and Minnesota and California. The IQs, which wirelessly connect to our locks, do not need to be on the same network. So we've chatted a lot about our hardware specifically for storefronts. We've also chatted a little bit about the system infrastructure of SALTO KS. What does it take to install? Well, guess what, guys? While our focus on today's presentation is on storefront doors, SALTO does much, much more than just storefront doors. I told you already, we can do any door, anywhere. So how do we do them? Well, if we're looking at the common doors in a building, we can use wired readers to manage a strike or a maglock. Right? We can use a design reader to manage elevator access. We can use a reader to manage an overhead garage door. We spent a lot of time talking about how storefronts can be solved with electronic locks, and we can do that. But we go way past this. We have a whole lineup of hardware. Our XS4 Original Plus can go indoors or outdoors. It can go on mortise doors or cylindrical doors. It fits every door in your property. Right? We also have a minimalistic product, the XS4 Mini Anti. It's an indoor cylindrical device. This is great for office doors or back of house or closets, right? And it's in the same line of pricing as commercial grade 1 mechanically keyed doors from other vendors. We can install our XS4 Original Plus on exit devices. So if there's a panic door somewhere on site, guess what? We have a lock that bolts on to our panic bar or existing third-party exit devices. We can do completely frameless glass door locks. We can also go way beyond doors. We're not just about doors, guys. We're about securing openings and getting rid of mechanical keys. We can do lockers. We have smart cylinders that also adapt to cam locks. Think of desk drawers, cabinets, lockers, again, or even electrical boxes everywhere that a cam lock might be used. We can do server racks. Yes, we have cylinders compatible with swing handles for server racks. And we have an outdoor rated rugged padlock. Rain, snow, none of that's a problem. So maybe our customers have a trash bin in the back that they need locked up, and they only want certain people to have access to it. Well, guess what? We can use our outdoor rated padlock, or maybe there's a roof hatch, right? And we can also do lots of lodging type of applications too, right? We can do deadbolts with our cylinder product. This is great. We have full-size locks that can also have a mortise with a deadbolt. So if we have an apartment building, we can do those too. We can have keypad locks. So if we need to have a PIN code, guess what? We have your back. And we can even do lots of European form factors with our XS41, which is UL approved and has a 3-hour burn rating. All of our hardware. It's not one size fits all, right? Everyone has a little bit different need for the product, and we accommodate those needs. We have lots of finishes. We can make your locks look the way you need them to look. We have lots of handles because, again, the handle that's appropriate for a retail store might be very different than an apartment building, which might be very different than a school, okay? And we have different handles to accommodate all those different needs, whether there are standard handles, a premium fancier handle, or a top of the line luxury handles by Colombo. So we've talked a lot. I'm on a 26-minute soliloquy, guys. But if there's anything I can have you and all the participants take away is we can do any door anywhere in a property. Doesn't matter if it's a loading dock, doesn't matter if it's a retail storefront, doesn't matter if it's a sliding door with a wall reader, doesn't matter if it's office doors or storage rooms or lockers or any place that might need a padlock. Any door, anywhere. And if we were just doing a PowerPoint, we'd be all wrapped up. But I'm going to spend just a few minutes and actually walk you guys through a live Salto KS system experience. Okay. So I'm going to transition from showing you my PowerPoint and go into our software. I've already logged into my software, which you can do by going to saltoks.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a login button. That's it. Very fast. And when you initially log into Salto KS, you're presented your dashboard. Okay. And when you have your dashboard, you can see the status of all of your doors, and you can see your most recent events, right? And the dashboard is just that. This is where I get a snapshot of my building and my property, my system. But maybe I want to add a new person or manage the people in my building. Well, if I click on the People tab, I can see all the users that are on my little demo system, which I've named Salto, Minnesota. Okay. And I have all these different users. And maybe I have someone, Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan has my red key tag. When he badges into a door, if he has access, he gets in. Well, if I wanted to, I can block Paul Bunyan. What this is telling the system is Paul Bunyan's key tag. Hey, it's lost. It should be let in the door. And Paul Bunyan's key tag is instantly locked down. He can't get in anywhere that he would have normally been able to go because his account is blocked. All right, Paul, you're back on my good side. You found your key tag. I'll give you access, right? If I don't misclick here. Done. Paul Bunyan, your access has been restored. The next time he walks up to a door, he taps his credential. He's going to have access wherever he's allowed to go. Okay. What if I wanted to create a new user? Well, that's really simple too. If I hit create user, I then enter a new person. I always like to add my dad, Rich Grutzmacher. I can assign him a key tag, or I can skip that process entirely and hit next. If I type in my dad's email, maybe it's rg@yahoo.com, right? Well, digital key is automatically checked. What does this mean? Well, if I were to hit next and save, Rich Grutzmacher, or whoever owns rg@yahoo.com, would get an email saying, you are invited to Salto KS. That user would download the Salto KS app. And now that user would be able to use their phone to tap and open up any door that they have access to. Maybe I really trusted Rich and I wanted to allow him to do remote openings. If I check this box, Rich now could remotely open any door that he has privilege. Okay. Oh, you know what? I don't trust this guy that much. I don't want him to have remote opening. I just don't check it. If I hit next, I can assign Rich to an access group. Maybe he's one of my staff members. I'll add him to my staff group. Done. If I were to hit create, the whole process is done. I've created my user Rich, I've assigned him access, and I let him open up doors with a digital key. I'm not actually going to complete this process, but I just want to get across that adding users and maintaining users is really, really simple. If I skip ahead here to access, here are my access groups. So maybe I wanted to make a new access group. I'm going to call this group, add access group. I'm going to call this PM cleaners. Next. Who are my PM cleaners? Well, maybe it's Raymond, Jonas, and Maddie. Next. Which doors do the PM cleaners have access to? Well, they can come in through my storefront, and they can come in through my rear entrance, and they have access to the fitness room and the bike room. But you know what? They don't need to go on the roof hatch. They don't need to come in through the front entrance. If I hit next, I can create a schedule. Are they allowed in always? No. Do they need check in and check out, like a very basic hotel? Or should I create a custom schedule for these users that says, hey, my cleaning staff comes in on Friday, Saturday, and Tuesdays, and they're the PM staff. So they're allowed in at 5 p.m. and they're allowed in until 10 p.m., right? Done. I've made an access group. called PM cleaners that says these 3 people have access to these 4 doors with these custom dates and times. And it's really easy to make changes here. I can remove users. Oh, you know what? Jonas has left that group. I'm going to take him out of the group. And the locks, you know what? I was wrong. They do need access to the roof hatch. I'll add that to their group. So I can very quickly make changes to the system. And we're not just about making it easy to manage a system, right? We also want to make it easy to manage your users within that system. So if I click on events, I can see all the events that have ever happened in my system. I can also filter this and say, you know what? I want to know when a lock was opened, and I want to know when the bike room was opened, and I want to know when Paul Bunyan did the opening, right? Well, right now my results will filter, and I'll be able to see all the users that meet that criteria. It's very, very fast to filter through data, even lots of data. And you can even stay on top of the security of your building. Maybe you want to know and search by incidents. Hey, was there a problem that happened? Was there an intrusion alarm? And which alarms do I get notified about? Well, you do that in the notification section. So I can create notifications that say, hey, listen, I want to know every time a door was kicked open. I want to know every time one of my doors was left open. We can do that. I want to get an email if the batteries are getting low every few years. These are all baked in out of the box. Salto KS is scalable. It is very fast to add users. It's fast to enroll users and create locks and add IQs, right? And best, it's always up to date. Whenever there's a software update, you and all of your customers get it instantly. How often do we do updates? Well, we had one in late September, early July, late June, right? Mid-March. Why am I showing this? Just to let you know that we have regular updates to Salto KS. You and your users can get into the doors the way you want to. Your systems are up to date. And if you ever forget something, well, if you click on the support tab, you're now brought into our wiki. You can ask a question to search through our wiki of questions, or maybe you just want to read the manual. Well, here's our web app manual. I want to learn about access groups. Well, great. Here's a step-by-step instruction set on how to manage access groups. All right. So let's start wrapping this up. All right. Your time is precious, and I want to make the most of your time. All right. Salto KS is a cloud-based access control system that's integrated with Salto's hardware that fits every door type. Right. Our storefront solutions, whether the XS41DL, our Neo cylinder, or even a design wall reader, allow you to manage every single one of those doors. Okay. Salto's team, we have a network of manufacturer reps and RSMs. We'd love to support you guys. We'd love to take those next steps together. You have my contact info, p.grutzmacher@saltosystems.com. Please reach out whenever you have a question. From here, I'm going to transition it over to the Q&A area. If you have any questions, type them in that Q&A area. I'll do my best to answer those questions. First question that I see popping up is, what if the batteries die on a lock? Okay, you're right. The locks, there's no nuclear reactor. So yes, if the batteries stop working for whatever reason, the lock, a key card wouldn't let you in. But every one of our locks can actually be powered. We have a little device that I don't have at my desk that allows you to power the device from the outside. Now, it doesn't open the lock, but it can provide power from the exterior of the door so that you could then remotely open that lock or then tap your key card to open the door. So even if the batteries have died and you've ignored all of those warnings from the system, you can still get in the door, or authorized users can. All right. Another question is, what if the building's internet goes down? Can I still manage my locks? Well, yeah, sort of. So if the internet goes down, well, your IQ gateways, they have memory on board. Okay. So what that means is, even if they can't connect to the cloud service from Salto, as long as they have power, they can still tell your locks what to do. So when a user badges in, the lock wirelessly talks to the IQ. The IQ has all the information necessarily to wirelessly tell that lock what to do then. Okay. So we don't necessarily need the internet for day-to-day interactions. We do need the internet to make updates. Can you use any MyFair credential with Salto KS? No, you can't. So within Salto KS, our credentials are encrypted. They're encrypted to work with our hardware and our software. So when you're buying physical credentials, the physical credentials come in a few different form factors. We have key fobs. They come in a variety of colors. We also have key cards. Great. But the reality is the vast majority of customers, they use their mobile phone to open doors. And your mobile credentials are included in your subscription. So there's no need. If you order a 50 user subscription, every single one of those users could have the permission to say remotely open a door or tap their phone to open a door. So key tags and key fobs, while they're important, most users in Salto KS systems use their phone to open doors. That's a really good question. Are the mobile credentials tied to the physical mobile device? Right? That's another good question. So what's happening is when I log into my Salto KS app, that's the authentication. I only know my username. I know my password. So when I log in, because I've logged in, I can use that phone's Bluetooth to open the door. So if I get a new phone, no problem. I just download the Salto KS app and I authenticate my phone so that I can use it as a Bluetooth credential. So users can switch phones. That's not a problem. Another really good question. Can our XS41 be installed outdoors? You bet. That's what a Storefront's all about, guys. Our XS41DL is a great option to go on those exterior doors. All right. I think that was the last question, everyone. I've left my contact info up here. Reach out to us. You can also reach out to us at info.us@saltosystems.com. I'd love to learn more about your business, chat more in depth about how you can get certified and trained and join our reseller program for Salto KS and start getting rid of those mechanical keys. All right. Everyone, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.